Hi everyone, it's Nicole, and I thought I would show you what happens when you plan one, a video a day for the entire month of August. Two, you're working on a class for, scrapathon, which is coming up in September. And, I have all kinds of things that I'm working on. Three, journaling on 100 pages this month. And so this is the aftermath. It is so bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the camera around. I'm going to put the timer on for 20 minutes and I'm going to see what I can get done in 20 minutes. And then I have to get some work done, but I'll try to do, 15 or 20 minutes a few times today to try to get this done. And this was my haul. So it's the aftermath of a whole bunch of stuff. And these are some layouts that I need to work on, do the journaling, and then put them in my albums. This is a YouTube video that's going to come soon of a haul of my books. It's just, I can't stand it. So I need, and some new albums that I bought. So I need to put those away. So true transparency of what kind of mess transpires when you're working on all kinds of stuff. These are my cards that I'm using for my mini album, for my books, and I have 2 Project Life cards there. So it's just, and that's the scrapathon that I'm working on. Oh, there's just too much stuff. I'm feeling overwhelmed. So I'm going to start cleaning and I'm going to put you on fast forward. Okay, so as you can see, my room was a complete disaster, and I was at the point that I couldn't even feel creative anymore. It was just, when it's at the point that even when you go to bed, you think about it, you think about how messy it is and that you need to clean it up. And the worst part is, it's not going to take me that long to clean it. This part of the desk took me a little bit over 20 minutes, about 23 minutes, and it was like a mountain of stuff. But once you get it done, I was going to do it in 15-minute spurts. Whenever I have a big task that I need to do, I like to divide it into 15-minute spurts. But I find that my scrap room, that is one of the exceptions. I find once I get started, I just love playing with this, the supplies and everything. Even though I'm kind of organizing it, it's still looking at your supplies. And another thing is, when I'm moving something, when I'm putting something away, I make sure that it actually goes in the place that it lives. So I'm not putting it somewhere temporary. Everything in my room has a home. So I make sure that everything goes where it needs to go. And then that way, later on, I'm not going somewhere else where I have just a pile that I moved from the first place that I cleaned up. Saying that, I do, one thing though, is when I'm starting like this, I do separate things into piles. So let's say if I have pattern papers, I will make a pile of pattern papers. If I have cardstock, I don't want to walk back and forth to where I keep my cardstock 20 times. So I make piles, and then once I feel like I have most of my desk cleaned up, then I'll go and take the piles, let's say, of cardstock or stickers or enamel dots, and then I will go and put them in the home that they belong to. I don't want to keep walking back and forth. And I just showed you my beautiful traveler's notebook that I bought way back in March. And I had brought it with me in New York thinking that I would have time to do it on the go, but it was so jam-packed every day, and I can't do anything in a vehicle, so it's not as if I could do it while we were driving. So now I'm just going to take it with me when I go on the cruise, because I figure, we'll have probably a little bit more downtime, and I will get some done during my cruise. So as you can tell already, it's starting to look a little better. At first, it didn't look any better because, like I said, I take everything, divide it into piles. So it takes a while before I have everything divided up. And then once I have the big mess cleared up, then I start putting everything away. And it took me about, I'd say 24 minutes, 25 minutes to clean this up. And one of the reason is I spent a good 5 minutes moving the alphas over on these sheets for my thickers. They're the rubber thickers, and they're almost gone. So why have 2 sheets of them? And they keep coming off and everything. So I figured I'm just going to fill the 1 sheet and put it back. Now I wasn't careful to make sure that I go from A to Z. I just kind of put them on the sheet. As you can tell, I went back to where it was sitting, and there was like extra letters just sitting there. And I think it's because it was out of its package, and it's been humid and hot in our area for the last 6 weeks. So I think, the letters were curling up and everything, but it's fine. Just whenever I'm going to put it on a scrapbook layout, I'll just make sure to put some extra glue to make sure it glues down correctly. Now, the same thing with the thickers. I have a pile where I'm keeping all the thickers, and then once I'm ready, I'll go to the drawer where I put my thickers away, and I'll put all the thickers away at once. And then that way, I'm not going back and forth to that drawer, 5 or 6 times. I'm just going to go once, and I have my thickers divided into color. So for the next part of my desk, and that's the only thing that I actually filmed, was me cleaning my desk. I did end up cleaning my whole room, and there's a little clip at the end of this video where I show you exactly my whole room once it's all done, and it felt so good. Like I said, I want to do it in 15-minute spurts, but once I got started, I was feeling so encouraged, and I just wanted to get the whole thing done in one day. And then I knew that I would be able after that to get a ton of stuff done, and I was right. I did this, and as soon as I finished, I turned around and I did 3 videos that I got done that afternoon or the rest of the day, and I felt so much more productive. And right now I'm going to be trying to make sure that when I finish a project, I'm going to clean up right away, right after it, and it's only going to take me less than 5 minutes every time, instead of, this took me about an hour and a half altogether to get my whole room cleaned up. So this is the area where I actually work. So right above that is my lights, and as you can tell to the right there, I have a TV there and a mic, and then I have another tripod, and that's when I do the lives. So that stuff stays on my desk. It's just part of my reality because I do, YouTube videos and I do live shows. That stuff, if it wasn't on my desk would look, even cleaner. But that's just my reality. I'm not going to move that stuff to a different area of the house and then move it back every time I want to do a live video, because then I will never do it. So it's just better to, I keep everything there, and then when I'm ready to do a live, I just plug everything in, and then it's ready to go. I had a ton of inks that were out and a ton of mist, but because everything has a spot in my room, it gets put away really quickly. So I just start with one thing. I put all the mist away, and then I put all the distressed inks away. And then these are my containers where I keep the leftover embellishments from page kits. So now I'm up to 2 full containers. So I got to do something with that really soon. And so this part of my desk went cleaned up really quickly. I think it was maybe between 10 and 15 minutes, and that was done. And that's it. Now I'm going to go live and I'm going to show you what my entire room looks like once I was all done. Okay, so I just decided to just not do 15-minute spurts. I just decided to get it done, and not just one area of my room. I got the entire room done. It is completely clean, and now I can get back to the projects I was going to do and feel good about it. The only thing that I have left is that stack of layouts that need to be journaled and put away. So what I do is I grab a few of those almost every day and journal on a few. But my table, the only thing that's left on there is what I'm filming next, is my mini album. So that's there, ready to go. That's what I'm going to do next. But everything is done. The Raskogs are where they need to be. All the bags that were out, they're all gone. I still had stuff in bags from crops that I went to. All that is gone. So I have a Raskog that's right next to me, and that has my main tool. So I have that really close. And then I have my little stool. Usually it would be right there. And then when I get tired, I just move my mat and move my stool in. But I did it. It took me about an hour and a half to get the entire room done. Now, just my desk, it was about 35 minutes, and my desk was completely cleaned, but there was way more than my desk. Again, I had like a basket of books there. I had some paper pads there. I still had stuff that were cleared out, like my bag and stuff to go to crops. It was still there. So everything is where it needs to be, and yay! It's done. It feels good. I feel like now I can be creative. Thanks for watching.